The following portion of Daytime is sponsored by Older Lundy, Koch, and Martino.
During family law cases, it's well known that the best interests of a child should come first. And sometimes a third-party player is given the task of making sure that happens. Here to explain is Hamil Maxwell, board-certified specialist in marital and family law at Older Lundy. Welcome. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well. You know, I agree. The kids are what should be at the forefront, but you're introducing a new term for me, a guardian ad litem. What exactly is that, and when might a judge appoint one?
So in a family law case, a guardian ad litem can be appointed, and they are really there to act on behalf of the best interests of the children. They're not necessarily a decision maker. They are there to sort of investigate the facts, some of the concerns that either parent or the court might have, and then make recommendations to the court on behalf of the best interest of the child.
But still, when parents hear that term, they may get nervous or a little apprehensive. Is there any chance that the guardian ad litem is more there for the parents, one particular parent over the other, or really just there for the kids?
They're really just there to act on the best interest of the child. They are essentially neutral with regard to the parents' positions. They are there to really, like I said, investigate what's going on. And then make a recommendation for the child.
And I want to hear a little more about that. What exactly do they do? What sort of information are they looking for and giving off to the judge?
So there's a series of different factors in the statute that the guardian ad litem is going to consider, but a lot of times they're talking with teachers, they're talking with medical professionals if there are medical issues concerning the child. They're talking with both parents, grandparents. They're just trying to get really a full picture of what's going on with the family, and there may be some allegations and some concerns, and so they will dive a little deeper into each of those areas to make sure that they are investigating and bringing that information to the court. And the benefit is that the judge can't come to the home. They don't get that sort of first-hand experience, and the guardian ad litem can do that and bring that information to the judge.
And you know, such a great point. Since the judge isn't going to the home, how much weight does the guardian ad litem's information and their advice and opinion weigh in on that final decision from the judge?
Usually quite a bit, because they, like I said, the judge has not had that experience, and so they really rely on the guardian ad litem. Of course, there are some really good ones out there that have better credibility with the court, and so it really just depends on the investigation they've done. If it's thorough, that's going to hold a lot of weight with the court.
Last quick question: do the parents get to pick the guardian ad litem?
So sometimes if it's agreed upon, the parties can come up with a mutual agreement on who that will be. Other times, if there's not an agreement, then the parents can submit proposed names to the court, but ultimately it's going to be the appointment by the court.
Wow. Okay. Thank you so much for all that information.
Of course.
All right. And you can find out even more information by visiting olderlundylaw.com or call the number there on your screen. It's 813-254-8998. Daytime will be right back.
The preceding portion of Daytime was sponsored by Older Lundy, Koch, and Martino.